Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into this morning's video. It's Monday at GazWeatherVids, which can mean only one thing. Yep, it's Europe Day. Every Monday at GazWeatherVids.com we have a look at weather for the coming few days across the European continent, and today is going to be no exception. Now, before we go on with the European outlook, just talk about the advertising. There's green keyword ads on my pages at GazWeatherVids.com. Rolling your cursor over green keywords means that they'll display ads, but if you click through the word, that's the key. Click through the word, go to the advertise website, and you're supporting GazWeatherVids.com at the same time. Thanks very much for doing that. Also want to mention the website we're using for the charts. It's weathercentral.de, a wonderful German website. You can find it on my links page. So autumn is well and truly setting now across much of the continent. The coming week is going to be very unsettled, with low pressure dominating, giving showers or longer spells of rain on several days through the coming week. Now, right at the end of the week, next weekend, there's signs of high pressure building in off the Atlantic, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But for much of the week, it's going to be a very autumnal scene. So this is the situation across the continent today. The main driver of the weather today is this very deep area of low pressure to the northeast of Scotland, 975 millibars. Really deep low pressure giving strong winds to much of northern and northwestern Europe. Very tightly packed isobars wrapped around that area of low pressure, and the weather fronts and the outbreaks of rain and showers from that area of low pressure being driven well into central parts of Europe today. Also very cool air wrapped around that area of low pressure. The upper air temperature showing that the cool air is pushing through much of France into the Low Countries and Germany, much of Scandinavia into cool air as well. Really cool upper air temperatures for Britain and Ireland. The heat is really through the Mediterranean, particularly focused for central parts of Spain, but through the Med and going up in towards the southeast of Europe. Not too bad really with the upper air temperatures there. Look at all the rainfall coming up today across the continent. Much of Scandinavia, Britain, Ireland, France, the Low Countries, Germany, Denmark. Going to have showers or longer spells of rain, but even in towards Poland and down into parts of Austria and Hungary. We're going to have some outbreaks of rain there. Could be some snow, by the way, over the Alps. Could get some snowfall over there. Having a look at the temperatures today, it's a very cool scene across much of the continent today. Really poor temperatures, just into the low to mid-teens for much of Ireland, Britain, France, Low Countries, Germany, Denmark, and Scandinavia as well. The warmth is really through the Mediterranean. That's where we've got warm temperatures. Also notice these heavy showers and thunderstorms down across Greece and Turkey. I think they will fade as we move through in towards the middle of the week. So as we go through to the middle of the week, that area of low pressure, the storm system to the north of Scotland, is filling out somewhat. It's losing its intensity, but the low pressure is still the dominating factor across much of the continent through the middle of the week. High pressure is building across western parts of and central parts of Russia, and we're also getting a ridge of high pressure trying to extend in to the southwest of the Atlantic, but low pressure is still more or less in control of things through the middle of the week. Very cool temperatures in the middle of the week through much of central, northern and northwestern Europe. The warmth really is again through the Mediterranean, going up into some of these eastern Black Sea parts of the continent. The precipitation through the middle of the week showing we've got heavy rain stretching through the North Sea in towards the Low Countries, northern parts of Germany, Denmark, much of Scandinavia having showers and longer spells of rain as well, and that extends down in towards Poland also. And as we go further east in towards those eastern countries of the continent, where we have some heavy rain and thunderstorms there as well, trying to push in towards Russia, but remembering Russia we're under that ridge of high pressure. Largely dry through the Mediterranean, but some very heavy rain or thunderstorms possible through parts of France and in towards southern Germany and around those alpine regions. Once again, really cool temperatures through the middle of the week, well below where we should be. Very, very disappointing. You have to go down to the Mediterranean again to find the warmth. Now, a bit of a change starting to take place through the latter stages of the week and into the weekend as this area of high pressure begins to build in off the Atlantic. The reason that's happening is this area of low pressure stalling in the mid-Atlantic. The jet stream will eventually take this up towards Iceland by the look of it. It's the remains of Hurricane Humberto, but it's going to help promote a ridge of high pressure over many western and central parts of the continent. Even so, by the end of the week, low pressure is still more or less the dominating factor in Central Europe, but I say that ridge of high pressure is on the way. So the upper air temperatures at the end of the week, very cool still across most of central, northern and western Europe. Again, the warmth is really through the Mediterranean, just coming in towards southern parts of France, perhaps turning a bit warmer there, but the heat really is through the Med. Noticeably warm upper air temperatures associated with the remains of Hurricane Humberto, though eventually that's going to start to help to bring warmer temperatures into central and western parts of Europe. Sorry, I've gone ahead of myself there. As we move through towards the precipitation on Friday, we're going to still find showers or longer spells of rain for many central parts of Europe and going up in towards Scandinavia as well. It is drying out though for Ireland and Britain, also France turning dry. That's just beside that ridge beginning to come in, but much of Scandinavia and Central Europe still largely unsettled at the end of the week, and very cool for many parts of the European continent as well at the end of the week. Temperatures very disappointing for most of the continent away from those excuse me, Mediterranean countries. Finally, as we move into the end of the week, you had a quick sneak peek a bit earlier on, and the remains of Humberto then has gone up to the north of Iceland, a very intense area of low pressure, but it's helping to build this ridge of high pressure across Ireland and Britain and much of Germany and France too. The trough is being pushed off into the east of Europe by that time. Look at the warm push with the upper air temperatures across these western countries at the weekend. It's going to be turning warmer under that ridge of high pressure for Ireland and Britain, much of France as well. The heat also down into Spain and Portugal. And although the upper air temperatures for Germany and Central Europe are still quite cool through the weekend, I think eventually that warmth will get into central parts of Europe as well. The rainfall forecast for the end of the week shows that it is drying out across many parts of the continent at the weekend. The rain is really being pushed off into the east of Europe, and we've got thunderstorms breaking out across southern parts of Italy through the southern Adriatic in towards parts of Romania, Greece and Turkey. But many central western areas actually drying out and about ridge of high pressure, and the temperatures beginning to lift up as well, turning somewhat warmer, not particularly hot, but somewhat warmer for Ireland, Britain, France. Those temperatures will be lifting up, quite hot down into central parts of the Mediterranean as well, or central parts of Spain I should say, very warm through the Med. Still cool through central and eastern parts of Europe, but as I think that warmth will eventually get into central parts of the continent as we go into next week. So in summary, it's a very autumnal scene across the continent today, and will remain so for much of the week. Low pressure will be dominating, keeping it very cool, changeable and unsettled. But signs of a ridge of high pressure building in at the end of the week and into the weekend in response to Hurricane Humberto really stalling in the Atlantic and going up to Iceland. It's going to help build a ridge, and I think we've got some warmer and drier weather on the way for next weekend. A nice spell of late summer weather, but only in the west. Central areas and into the east of the continent will take longer to warm up and dry out. But overall an autumnal scene. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.